Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, King Dio, Lauren Frey, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. So I finally got around to reading another volume of One Piece. One Piece Volume 7. And I kind of feel almost as if, am I going to repeat myself a little bit here? Because this is essentially a continuation of the arc we left off on last time. The Volume 7 in which we established the characters of the restaurant Barate, Sanji, Redfoot Zeph, the cooks there, kind of set the stage for what's happening in this volume, where the fighting actually starts, and we actually get some good character drama, some good backstory, some good fight scenes, and some really interesting revelations about the characters. I feel almost as if am I going to be repeating myself if I talk about if I talk about this, because One Piece is a very, very, very long series with a lot of detail, a lot of characters, and a lot of really pivotal story aspects. But as a result of that, there are long periods of time where it feels like we're still where we are, we're still where we are, we're still where we are. Oh, now let's do something new, and then we'll be there for a while and focus on building those characters up and stuff like that. So Volume 7 is just more of what we got in Volume 6, right? It's about Sanji and his relationship to the restaurant. We get a lot of his background, and I have to say, Sanji has to have my favorite backstory out of all the characters. As a kid, I really liked Zoro because I think that was that storyline was relatively uncensored by 4Kids, but Sanji's was brutal, and I don't recall experiencing it as a kid. I think they must have cut down on it or trivialized it or something. There's a bit where Sanji's backstory. Sanji's backstory. Okay. We can't jump ahead when it comes to this kind of stuff. We gotta go through this piece by piece. So Sanji's backstory is that when he was young, he longed to discover the All Blue, an ocean where every single fish from every single sea in the world can be found, and it's some kind of considered some kind of paradise for seafaring cooks, because you could make anything when you're there, right? So Sanji has this dream of finding this mythical location that exists, that is said to exist somewhere in the world, and he meets Zeph, who is a pirate who desires to find the All Blue for himself, and they get caught up in a storm, and they find themselves stranded on an island alone. There are no animals, there is no vegetation, there's nothing there. They can't leave, they're stranded on this giant rock and can't even attempt to get away. So Sanji and this guy, Zeph, just kind of sit there for days on end, and Sanji slowly starts starving to death. And the rations that Zeph gave him start running out, and Sanji just panics and decides he's going to have to kill Zeph and take his supplies. So he goes over there and takes them, tries to rob him, at knife point to get what he needs to survive, and nothing but treasure. Zeph kept himself alive for 90 days by eating his own foot, which is something that I don't remember. I've read the manga before. I've seen the anime a couple of times. I don't remember why. I don't know how this aspect of the plot escaped me. I guess there's a lot going on in this arc with character developments. Zoro's arc, I think, is what I was focused on as a kid. Because I like his background and his goal and him encountering his direct opposition, Mihawk, the greatest swordsman in the world. Sanji's is a bit more nuanced, it's a bit more mature. It hits a little bit harder as an adult. I feel like you really get an impression of why Sanji is the way he is, why he hates it when people waste food, because he literally starved to death, and it really has shaped his personality to the point where he would help a total stranger like Jin, the demon man, the commander of Krieg's army, Don Krieg's army, despite being a pirate. It's an interesting little character bit that does a really good job of establishing who this character is right off the bat, and like making this unique setting, you know, a restaurant on the ocean, seem strangely compelling. Like I said, I'm sure this is all stuff I touched on in my last review video, but like the core aspect of it is that, like, although there's a lot of battling going on, you know, Luffy's fighting Don Krieg, they're fighting this guy called Pearl, they're fighting this guy called Jin, like, it has soul, like, it has heart, like, it has a real emotional weight to it. Like, I've got a record before saying this is probably the moment where One Piece started getting really, really good for me, and rereading it again, I definitely 100% feel that way. I think Kuro was good. I liked Buggy more than I remember going back to this for the second time. But seeing this again, like this arc, this bit here is where I truly began to fall in love with One Piece. Like seeing someone like Jin, just this nobody character, just kind of come in and have this legit heart-wrenching moment. It just. Sure, it could have been handled better. I think Jin really needed a lot more build-up to have the kind of impact they were going for. Like, there are aspects to it that I think, you know, maybe could have been done better. Like, I think I think the character of Pearl kind of muddles things a bit. Like, this guy just comes out of nowhere. Like, they couldn't just fight random pirates. They have to fight this super guy. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Don Krieg is a great villain with a great design, with a great unique gimmick. Probably my favorite villain in the East Blue arc. I mean, I like Captain Kuro a lot, but there's something about Don Krieg and like his ruthlessness and his brutality that really makes me like him as a character, because like this is the kind of person who goes after the One Piece. This is the kind of person who wants to become king of the pirates. This is the first time that Luffy is really going up against someone who can be considered his equal in that regard. And of course, Luffy wins the fight in the end. Well, we don't get to that in the volume, but it's really interesting seeing like their opposing viewpoints and their opposing abilities. Don Krieg does not have devil fruit powers. He is a normal person, like armed to the teeth with all sorts of weapons, and it's really, really cool seeing all the crazy stuff he has hidden up his sleeve. And of course, there are people. This arc already established there are people way stronger than Don Krieg out there. Like Mihawk took out his entire armada by himself, right? It is it really gets you excited about what the Grand Line has in store for you, and that's the spirit of One Piece. Is just that spirit of adventure, that excitement of seeing what's going to happen next, what strange new characters you're going to come across. Like One Piece is bursting with creativity and soul, and that's a big reason why I've always been such a big fan.